What's going on with y'all? This y'all boy, Battle Rap Chuck 92. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe. So, Math Hoffa is feeling like it's like a West Coast bias thing going on. And, of course, if nobody didn't know, that's where most of the battles are at right now. Due to the quarantine and things like that. But that's kind of dying out a little bit, so they might get back, traveling, going everywhere. Now, let me just start off with Math, and shouts out to Math too, cause he saluted me for supporting this channel. When I was actually talking about the Math Hoffa versus Method Man battle on his channel, and he had saluted me on that. I appreciate that. I most definitely appreciate that though, Math. I really appreciate that. And we already know how my expert opinion is and things like that. Now, Math is one of my favorite battlers. I like Math Hoffa, way better than I like Math Hoffa then, I will say. But the only reason why I'm only really getting started with Math Hoffa, because every time when Math Hoffa was battling, it was always pressure on Math 10 times worse than the other opponent. I feel like when you do anything that you love so much and you're just trying your best to do what you got to do for you to be talented, for you to be known that you're very, very skilled, it could be pressure on anybody. But then with certain people, it could be a lot of pressure. And with me watching Math Hoffa up in his career and things like that, calling things the bully battle, and people still hold the punch thing, with him and Dose and all that. People still hold that against him. People look at Math Hoffa as the bully, so then when you see Math Hoffa rapping things like that, it's kind of awkward, to certain people, because they don't know how it's gonna go. They don't know if a fight is gonna break down. They know it's about to start getting real tense. So it just makes it more pressure. So for Math Hoffa to say something like that, it's understandable to an extent. And the only reason why I'm saying that it's only understandable to an extent, because let's just look at Philly crowds. We already know how Philly crowds are. Let's look at Detroit crowds. Oh my goodness. Atlanta crowds, not too much of a fan of. Let's look at what else can we look at? Let's look at the North Carolina fan base. North Carolina fan base is kind of dope to me. Let's look at the Chicago fan base. Chicago seem tough, but they seem more understandable on certain things. So, me personally, when people was over here battling, when people was dang near battling up in the East Coast, this was kind of around the first time where I saw dudes battle rapping on a big stage. I clicked in Serious Jones. I think I clicked in battle. I forgot what I clicked in, what I searched on. But it was Serious Jones versus Charlie Clips, right? And then I'm like, this is a big stage. And then I'm like, is this a big thing going on right now? So when I looked at Serious Jones versus Charlie Clips, I started looking at the recaps. I'm looking at, certain people talking about as far as who won and blah blah this and then blah blah that, and then I'm thinking that, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm thinking the damn battle was supposed to be judged. I'm just like, well, they didn't pick a winner. I'm doing all this bull crap. I even did the same thing with the Mook and Serious Jones, because I was just used, because some of the stuff I was actually a lot I was kind of used to the Fight Club era. You know what I'm saying? I was really used to the Fight Club era at one point. So even looking at East Coast, even when Math dang to be on the East Coast, people kind of look at Math, a certain way. People kind of like look at Math a certain way, even like when he over there battling in New York. But if I'm saying that about him, I could say that about most rappers, you know what I'm saying, up in the East Coast. You know what I mean? So, um, let's just even say people like a Conceited. Conceited got booed on a New York stage. Him and Holla got booed on a New York stage. I think Arsenal got booed on a New York stage. Verb most definitely got booed on the New York stage. But I'm also glad I'm also glad I bought Verb up because Verb is another one of them cats where certain people are just not likable to battle rap fans, and I know they don't care about that. You know, Verb don't be tripping off that. You know, like a Mav Hoffa, the Verbs, even like at an Arsenal at times. Certain people, they're just not likable to the fans. They are villains to the fans. So sometimes when they go to certain places, they're not really liked, right? So remind you, because I'm going somewhere with this. So remind you, New York was the type of crowd they'll boo you. They'll boo, 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 boo. That was law, man. That was trash. That was trash. Boo. Or if it's a good bar, it's like, oh, ooh, ah. You know what I mean? Like they going ham. They going crazy. So New York actually had that balance. They did. They had that balance. But if your bar was whack, you end up getting booed. You end up getting booed. So let's talk about as I continue to like watch battle rap. I remember like the first Traffic card. I remember when they kept continuing to do Traffic. You know what I'm saying? With the B Dot versus Anderson Kennedys, theAz versus Geechee Gottis. When URL came to Traffic, if you listen to all the battle rappers interviews, I'm not gonna say all, most of them. Oh man, Cali, laid back, man. Oh man, Cali is cool, man. The fan base is just so crazy. It's this, it's that. So at times when a bar wasn't good, it was like this: silence. Certain places, boo. LA don't do that. LA don't do that. Now let's even like talk about like the Math Hoffa and Geechee. Okay, Geechee might have more people than you because Geechee they have because I know these places like I know where they be at and all that. These places are like kind of like towards going towards like Inglewood, kind of like downtown, kind of like in a way. Geechee Gotti, you know what I'm saying? Geechee Gotti is from, you know, Compton. You know what I mean? So if you like look at certain things with that, you know, that's still Geechee Gotti like spot where even if it's people coming from Compton or whatever, it's probably only like 15 to 20 minutes away with no traffic going towards that, like going to the event where they battle over there on a caffeine. You know what I mean? So when you like look at like certain things as far as like with New York, certain things with like East Coast and West Coast, every time like when I hear like people from New York, you know, talking about like battle rap, I always see like Mickey Fax and all them. They all like, oh yeah, man, you know, I remember, you know, one day, I walked outside, I seen like a whole group rapping, and then we just went over there, and then we just started spinning our raps, and we was there for hours. Shit, that one going down in no LA. That one going down in Compton and things like that. No way. We was walking outside, dang near making sure we didn't have on a certain color, so we wouldn't get so we wouldn't get into no bull crap. That's facts. That's facts. Like it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that at all here. It wasn't like that. No, it was not. Whoever told you that, they are tripping. They ain't know. The closest was when Disaster was talking about the pit and things like that, and then certain things kind of went wrong at the pit at one point. So my whole thing to say this is the moment events start happening up in West Coast, either because if you end up getting booed, it might go left. If that don't happen, it's gonna go good. So it could only either go good or it's gonna go completely left. It's gonna go completely left. That's how it is up in the West Coast. So to me, as long as people have like they drink or whatever, and they, you know what I'm saying, like they, that what or whatever, they good. They good to go. They willing, like they willing to watch any battle. They don't do no Born over here in the West Coast. So if Geechee's over there in the West Coast, it might be a little more harder to beat Geechee. If Lux is in New York, it might be a little harder to beat Lux. If Mook is in New York, it might be a little harder to beat Mook. If Arsenal is in Jersey, it might be a little harder to beat Arsenal in Jersey. If Red or Shotgun Suge or anybody from Jersey is in Jersey, and a rapper come from probably like New York or Atlanta or LA, it might be the same thing. So you might as well say that about a whole lot of places. But my question is, to anybody that feel this way, I wonder what crowd you guys feel like is like more lit than West Coast. Maybe Houston. Houston is dope, but also the West Coast is dope too. I can't wait till Gnome have a very, very big card over here in the West Coast. Do you know how dope, man? Do you know how dope? That'd be so dope. Gnome's supposed to be a big crowd. I hope. And I hope it's in LA. It should be. So, my answer to this, though, man, I most definitely disagree. Because it really, really depends as far as like how you're coming off with it. I don't think, I honestly don't think it's no bias. To be honest with you, and a cold part about it, if it is, you are from the East Coast, and Geechee Gotti could actually bring more people than you could bring. That's simple. You know what I mean? That's simple. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's gonna happen. And I know you probably not just talking about like, like your battle, you know what I'm saying, or anything like that. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? That's simple. That's simple. So my thing is, I don't feel like there's no type of West Coast bias or anything like that. I don't feel that way, man. I don't feel that way. Because me listening to the Avs and certain people and Av and all them, and nah, bro. I remember I remember Av interview just like yesterday when he was, oh man, LA crowd is this, the LA crowd is that, and people love the LA crowd. I remember when Danny was going against Danger Zone. Like, wait till a big crowd comes, because this quarantine stuff might could confuse you. Because I'm not gonna lie, like, let's just be real. When a quarantine caffeine thing happened, Geechee Gotti might be like, oh yeah, it's cool if I bring such and such, like they just down here real quick, this and that. Can I bring them up in here? The people from East Coast, they probably don't even bother asking Smack that, because they all gotta fly down here. So when you go up in there, yes, you better expect it. Like, you better expect for it to be more than what you think it is. As far as the people that's there for Geechee, that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen anywhere. If Geechee was battling Math in New York, or West Coast, or if a West Coast dude was battling an East Coast dude in New York, the East Coast dude is gonna have more people. That's if they roll deep or not. That, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's gonna happen. You know what I mean? So I most definitely have to disagree to what Math was saying. I have to definitely disagree to that, because, like I said, when Danny Myers was going against Danger Zone, that was at a traffic event. They was going crazy for Danny Myers, and you know who? Another guy that's not from the West Coast. Because Danger Zone is like from the DMV or something like that. He's not from the West Coast. So wait till them crowds come. It might be better than what you think it is. So I kind of disagree with that to an extent, but at the same time, I see what you're saying. But at the end of the day, it's going to be hard to be the East Coast dude from the East Coast. It might be hard to be Easy the Block Captain from Philly. It might be hard to beat Geechee Gotti from LA or Compton, whatever you want to call it. It might be hard to beat B-Dot from here. It might be hard to beat Danny Myers from over here in LA. Yeah, it might be harder. But hey, this is, this is a part of battle rap. That's just how it go. But this y'all boy, Battle Rap Chuck 92. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe. Gone.